Presented by RomulusIT.com, offering remote support for common computer problems.
Look, probably start to wind down now. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about, though, is with with the internet, and especially in America, with sort of the polarizing left and right. Do you have sort of any opinions on entertainers getting more and more taking opinions on political matters when they're entertainers?
Look, everybody has opinions. I don't understand why, because I see it online. I'll see entertainers, whether they're musicians or actors or whoever, painters, it doesn't matter. I see entertainers make public statements through social media, one way or the other, and there's this immediate reaction generally from a lot of the hide behind the computer screen trolls of the internet, who say you should keep your mouth shut and stick to what you're doing. Go write songs. Don't comment on this. You don't know anything about this. And I just always find that interesting because it's just opinion. Well, what makes the guy, a guy who paints houses for a living has just as much right to his opinion as the guy playing bass in a big rock band. You know what I mean? Everyone has an opinion. So why if someone in a band has something to say politically, you know what? If you don't like it, well, then no one's forcing you to follow them on social media. And that goes either way, left or right. I'm not saying that, someone who says something pro-Trump or anti-Trump. Everyone has their right. And if you don't like it, instead of wasting your time, well, of course, anyone who's, what I should say is, anyone who's sitting there worrying about what some dude in a band is saying about politics and getting upset about it, and then actually taking the time to write about it, really, to my mind, has too much time on their hands. Who the fuck has time to sit around and read political commentary on Twitter? Anyway, that's how I should have answered this thing in the first place. And if that's where you're getting your news, well, then that's also a problem. But I have a million opinions about all kinds of things on this planet, and I don't give a shit what anyone else has to say about it because they're my opinions. And I give the respect to anybody else on this planet, no matter what they do, no matter where they come from. They have the right to their opinion. That's the country we live in. We're allowed to have opinions. We still are, even with everything going on these days. Amazingly enough, we're still allowed to have opinions. So I always find it kind of discouraging when people try to shut down someone else's opinion and tell them to shut up and to stick to what you know. Because how do you know the person making this comment, how do you know they haven't been studying this for decades, and they might know more about politics than these talking heads on television who supposedly are political commentators? You don't fucking know. So let people speak. Who gives a shit? And the polarization in this country has really become it's really annoying, to put it bluntly, to me. I really don't understand it. I don't really understand why people can't even have a conversation anymore about things. It's just, it's almost like there's no conversation to be had. There's either you're right and you're wrong, or no, you're right, I'm right and you're wrong. There's no middle ground anymore. And look, I've been around a long time. I've been of voting age for 36 years now, and I've never seen anything like I thought it was bad in the 80s when Reagan was president and people didn't like him and all that, and then and when George W. Bush was president, and that caused a lot of problems, and when Obama was president and people didn't like him, or the Clintons, and there's always going to be, not everyone's going to be happy with the person. People talk about John Kennedy with rose-colored glasses, but I fucking watched Ken Burns' Vietnam. That motherfucker is the reason why 50,000 Americans died because he didn't get us out of the war when he could have, and people look back at him with these rose-colored glasses of, oh, John F. Kennedy, when America was still had its innocence. It's like, no, when America never had innocence.
This episode is brought to you by Romulus IT, offering fast, affordable remote support for common computer problems, including troubleshooting, health checks, virus removal, and software support. Visit RomulusIT.com to get your computer back on track.